Why, heidi ho, heidi ho. So, last couple days I've been going over some of the negative commandments that were taught. They are handed down from the Sanhedrin. So it's oral teachings from excerpts of Torah and Tanakh. So today's is from the Rambam, and it's today's Sunday, the 3rd of Kislev, the month of Kislev, which would be the 9th month of the Hebrew calendar, the Lord's calendar, 5786, Holy Year. And the Sanhedrin passed down a teaching, and it's V'ha onashin hamesarin lachem. And it comes from chapter 10, chapter 1 of Rambam. So, when one of the judges in a case involving a capital punishment rules to acquit the defendant or to hold him liable, not because this is his own opinion, which he arrived upon the basis of his own decision, but rather because he was swayed by his colleague's words, he commits a transgression, as implied by Exodus 23:2. Do not respond to a dispute with an inclination. So, we'll call it the evil inclination, the Yetzirah, the reptilian mind. I often say those who benefit from iniquity are the last to see it as iniquity. We benefit from racketeering from others, taking other sweat equity, whatever you want to call it. And the courts, as they are set up now, are not courts of justice. They're courts of trust law, UCC codes, United States codes. They're banking codes, because banking is run as a business. All the prisons are for-profit prisons, and those who know, they make deals to keep the prison so full, so that those who are supposed to profit off that prison system can make a profit. So it behooves the judges to pass legislation, laws, which are basically no more than codes, and to take benefit from special interest groups. So accepting bribes blinds the eyes of justice. Anyway, back to how judges are supposed to behave. So, quite often in the courts, the way they're set up now, you can tell they're not courts of justice, because the judge will even utter it right out of his own mouth. I don't make the laws, I just enforce them. Well, just using the word force, I enforce them. I'm doing what I'm told. So I'm not following my own decisions. I'm not following my own consciousness and doing what is just. I'm doing what the creditors want me to do, because it's all about profit. So they use a fictitious conveyance of language, false and misleading statements, and they want you to assume the identity of a Social Security trust account, a dead legal fiction. Because to be in their courts of admiralty law and trust law, you have to consider yourself dead legal fiction. You got to use what Julius Caesar and Pope Gregory created, including the names of the land. So it goes back to Kili Kol Ha'aretz, all the earth is mine. So there's this saying, what is mine is yours, and what is yours is yours. So I'm going to add to that, and it comes from Kili Kol Ha'aretz, all the earth is mine. What is mine belongs to Hashem, and what is Hashem's belongs to Hashem, which is everything, including this body that I presently am living in. All the 7 souls that I receive, the feminine gender, my daughters, they're Hashem's daughters. They're my children during this life, but they were given to me by Hashem. The souls, the Ruach, came from Hashem. And my responsibility during this life is to take those souls and try to bring them from the Nefesh to the Neshama, but it's also to do the same with myself. There are no accidents. There's a reason for why Hashem chose to give me 7 daughters. So again, it goes back to guarding our 7 gates, placing guards of our 7 gates. So we are indoctrinated, and unfortunately, all judges that work for the British Accredited Registry, being the Bar Association of the United States, which is a Title 28 corporation, they work for a for-profit corporation, and their first loyalty is to the oath that they take for that corporation, the Bar Association, British Accredited Registry. And it's to push the Bar Association's laws, not the law of the land. So the law of the land is also the law of Ha'alam, the universe. It's our Ima Abba's laws, the masculine and feminine gender that exist within all things. It's to have judgment and mercy, and one doesn't exist without the other. So it's to say judgment without mercy is cruelty, and mercy without judgment is a weakness. And unfortunately, many judges lack the foresight to do the honorable thing. Honorable means the ability to have honor, but most of them lack the ability to be honorable. Not all, but most. And evidence of that is the system itself. So it's $38 trillion in debt now? How in the hell can you be $38 trillion in debt and still give yourself vacations and raises and, you can fund Lockheed Martin and all the military-industrial complex. You can fund the prison systems. You can fund everything else, but yet there are children going without and everything else. So the men of war will not enter the promised land. There are many things that we can learn from Torah and Tanakh. There will not be a sodomite or a harlot found amongst you. Well, it's when we allow perversions on the land and we justify those perversions, because after all, they don't fly the same banner as me, which also is against the law. If it's not a white flag surrendering everything up to our Imam, it's against the law. I don't care what it is. Stars and Stripes, the Star of David, Hamelech, Seal of Solomon. I don't care what it is. That's all a test. So we were told to pick a banner for our tribe. It was a test. Because we can come together to be wicked and create idols, but we can't come together to be righteous and give everything back to our Imam. So we claim ownership of ourselves and ownership of land and give them land names, name the land after ourselves. So there's a great wisdom in Torah and Tanakh. And there's a great wisdom in Zohar, in the Talmud, and studying the Mishnahs. And, oral Torah is very important. So it says, don't forget the Torah of your mother. In English, it's sad because I was brought up studying the English, and after all, that is somebody else's translation. That's not the original. Does it matter? Yes, it most definitely does matter. Because Chokmah, Bina, and Dad is just that in Hebrew. So when it says wisdom, Bina cried out to us in the street, come to me, my children. Don't forget the teachings of your mother's Torah, which is oral Torah. That's Zohar. That's teachings that came down from the sages, from the rabbis, the Sanhedrin. And anyway, the court systems, they're perverse. That's why prison system's growing bigger, and the military-industrial complex continues to want to grow and expand out all across all the world. And, we've got over 800 bases around the world, the United States, that Title 28 for-profit corporation. So when that corporation says they are a threat to the democracy of the United States, we're talking about they're a threat to the benefit of the shareholders. Not a threat to the people of the land, they're a threat to the corporation making its profit. So it's a sickness. So anyway, back to the judges. The judges are perverse in their thinking, many of them. And their main objective is benefiting the Bar Association. And if you come in there claiming to be a dead legal fiction, they're going to treat you so. They're going to treat you like you're a dead legal fiction. There is so much fraud taking place. Like with a automobile. You give your sweat equity to receive a piece of property, but yet the Bar Association, British Accredited Registry, that wants you to register everything in their name, which would be that Social Security trust account, they have this thing to where they believe that if they hold the original title, then they hold possession of the property as well. Well, see, that's evidence on its face. That's prima facie evidence of collusion and coercion to commit fraud, a civil conspiracy. That I can create a piece of paper and tell you that you're going to purchase this, but I'm still going to hold possession of it. It's still my property because I made a piece of paper giving me ownership. Even though you gave your sweat equity for it, I'm still going to claim ownership of it. So if they hold the original title, so the titles that you get for your automobiles and whatnot when you register them, those are copies. They're not the original builder certificate. So it's just a sick perversion. They're getting people to comply to codes, not laws. Because after all, the law of the land is to be honorable. Emet. Arimaba is emet, truth. And the truth is, anything that another man does to another man, believing that he has a right to own or control what another man is in a possession of, is a trespass. It's against the law. Don't covet what belongs to your neighbor. Ultimately, everything belongs to Arimaba. But if Arimaba gives a man or a woman possession of property, then that is in their care, in their possession. Another man doesn't have a right to create documents giving himself authority over it. That's a trespass, and it's a violation of the law. The problem with our society and the court systems, the way they're set up now, is people become so perverse in their thinking, they think it's okay for others not only to trespass against them, but to trespass against others. That we got to have a king, and this will be the nature of your king. You'll fight his wars. So, back to the wars that are going on around the world. There's not a single war that is a holy war, no matter what any man says. It's a war of thought. It's a war of egos, but they're not holy wars because they're not the Lord's wars. So, got men sodomizing other men and fools celebrating it like they think that's something to be glorified. Not a sodomite will be found among you. But it's okay if there are soldiers and they wrap themselves with our banner. It's evidence of idolatry. The golden calf turned our banners into golden calves where a man can do no wrong as long as he flies our banner. It's a sickness. It's evidence that not only are the courts perverse in their thinking, but we as a world have become perverse because we accept these things. We don't see anything wrong with sodomites and harlotry. And again, it's all about profit. You sold yourself to the creditors. It has to do with profiting the creditors, the bankers. So that's the message for today. Try to guard your 7 gates. Kill out your ego. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to our Imahaba. No man has a right to trespass against you, but at the same time, no man has a right to trespass against anybody. So you shouldn't set aside and accept other men trespassing against other men. That's not honorable. Shouldn't accept war crimes as being something to be glorified. God bless. Much love.